this morning I have a candle lit, and it's one of the benefits of being able to, practice indoors is to be able to do that. And so I hold this candle, I lit it on behalf of all of us that are practicing today, and also in remembrance of a friend that passed away yesterday unexpectedly. And that leads me right into this reading I have to start us out by Thich Nhat Hanh. And it says, suffering is only one face of life. Life has another face, the face of wonder. If we can see that face of life, we will have happiness, peace, and joy. And when our hearts are unfettered, we can make direct contact with the wonders of life. When our hearts are unfettered, we can make direct contact with the wonders of life. Thich Nhat Hanh. So if you want to join me in starting on devotional posture with hands crossed over the heart and the eyes slid closed, and knowing that this is a practice on the very physical level that brings mobility into our joints. It increases the flow of the fluids through the joints and through the spine, and so much more than that. But it's also a spiritual practice, and we can each kind of lean or tilt into that according to our tradition or our preferences or our just kind of daily inspiration. So I encourage you to pause and allow the space where you are to start to feel like your temple or your chapel. Maybe considering your body as a temple also. So it's a temple within a temple. And set an intention for your practice today. Is there a quality that you want to develop, practice? Is there an avenue of mindfulness that you want to bring to this, where you keep returning your mind to the moment through the breath and through the movement? And it's my prayer that we all find a way to unfetter a little bit of ourselves through this practice, where we feel a little more liberated, a little more aligned and connected, resourced and equipped for whatever this day brings. So I dedicate this practice to our well-being and the well-being of all. May it be so. So wherever you are, you can come to a standing position. And we will begin in Wuji, as we always do. And the longer I study Qigong and Tai Chi, the more nuanced I realize this stance actually is. And it can become your default posture if you practice it with enough intention. And so I'm working on that. I'm finding that it's healing some of my upper spine and cervical issues by really helping me feel what alignment feels like. So I want to guide you into that. Take a peek down at your feet, lift your toes up and spread them. Set your toes back down. Feel your feet almost like suction cups down, rooting into the earth and in relationship with the earth, almost as if there was a pulse between the earth pushing against your feet against the earth. Rock a little bit forward and back and explore the landscape of your footing. Feel that with the weight shifting forward and back, you're waking up the heels, the balls of the feet. The toes are elongated. You might even sense some space between some of the toes. And there's that light lift of the arch. And then when we kind of slow that rocking down and bend the knees slightly, as though we were going to perch ourselves kind of up on a high stool or countertop. And then relax your tailbone downward like a plumb line, right down into the center of the earth. And what comes with that dropping of the tailbone is this natural possibility that the groin or the quad can soften open slightly. And with the slight bend to the knees are not knocking in, nor are they turning out, but they're dialed forward slightly over your toes. And you could, if you wanted, hold a ball between your knees. And then with that sinking of that tailbone, there's that thread that we can imagine lifting, or a hook, lifting the crown of the head steadily upward as the tailbone sinks as though a weight was on the tailbone. And like an accordion, imagine or even feel the spine starting to open. And then we allow a little wiggle through the arms, and then let the arms rest by your side. And your palms are not actually touching your body in this moment. It's as though you're holding a little tiny quail egg underneath each armpit. And you're resting your shoulders and your ribs down toward your hips. And then we're not actually tucking the chin in as much as we're pulling the ears back. So the entire skull moves straight back slightly until you feel that you're stacked and aligned. And part of that support is the drawing down of the scapula, the shoulder blades, the buttoning down of the shoulder blades. And you feel a width, you feel engaged, but you're also wanting to be in a state that's pretty easy. So we're in Wuji, and you can bring a gentle smile to your face, as this is a practice to awaken joy of living. And sink your breath deep down into your abdomen. So amidst this whole structure is the slow, deep breath that is allowing the belly to expand and to contract gently and naturally on the exhalation. Let's take 5 smooth, slow, deep abdominal breaths. Feel free to exhale through an open mouth if that's helpful for you, because we do want to feel unfettered to whatever degree is possible by the end of the practice. So letting some of those exhales carry your stress, your concerns, those things you experience that you don't have control over, and acceptance is really the wisest route. Nice. So beginning in the standing posture, Wuji, empty stance. We'll keep returning to this. We use this as the basic structure for most of our movements. And then we're going to start to shake. Shake like a tree. I know the mighty oak that I really enjoy talking to outside my patio door has been really shaking a lot in these last couple of days with all the wind. And you might notice where you live, so little miscellaneous branches and leaves down on the ground, and maybe just somewhat like that, we can be shaking off whatever we're carrying that has no longer has a purpose, right? Isn't serving us or maybe anyone else. Shaking off fatigue, exhaustion, worry, fear. And then if it feels right for today, we can let that shaking become a little more vigorous. You could even bounce down into your heels a little bit. And one of the arts of shaking is to let the muscles be as loose and jiggly as possible. Maybe you can feel your fingertips flicking a little bit and your wrists flapping, your shoulders moving up and down, kind of shaking off whatever burdens are on the shoulders. And for the most part, during Qigong and Tai Chi, we rest the tongue on the roof of the mouth, just behind the front teeth. And this is considered a way to complete a round circuit of energy that runs through the body. That runs from the forehead, down the front body, down underneath the groin, up the back of the spine, over the top of the head. And the tongue is like a switch that switches on and connects these two pathways of energy, make an orbit. I'm going to slow the bouncing down. Return to Wuji, and although we're outwardly still, notice the inner sensation of movement. Like you just woke up every cell in your body, gave it a nice little shake. Feel that hum. We'll start to turn from the waist. We're going to twist and flap. And willing to let our movements go from mild to more intense with care. Just noticing, not clicking into autopilot of how maybe you usually do this twist and flap. Let it be the beginner's mind, fresh, start. And it is quite beneficial for your knees to keep your knees pointing forward, at least at this moment. Right, so we don't want to torque the knees too much. We're really trying to get this twisting movement up through the spine, stimulating the cerebral spinal fluid, synovial fluid in the joints, and this tapping on the energy pathways. You know, many of these pathways are accessed through acupuncture and other means of getting energy to circulate. So feel that tapping on the sides of your waist, your low back, which is the Ming Men, considered to be a very important section of your energetic anatomy. So allow that tapping to happen on your low back. Feel your shoulders loosen up and your arms swing around. And right from the navel, turning side to side, and allow this flapping to come up higher if that feels good for you. So you end up tapping or patting up into the chest, shoulders, and you can look forward or you can look toward the side that you're turning. Nice. It's a cleansing exercise, so please exhale through an open mouth at least a few times. Deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Eventually wind it down. And come back to Wuji, standing meditative posture, empty but brimming with possibility. Gentle smile, lengthened spine, just present to life as it is in this moment. We'll continue waking the body up by taking our hands and our fingertips and tapping. I'm going to start with the forehead. And you can use all 10 fingertips if you'd like, or at certain points in this little journey down the body, we'll go to flat palms, and you're just going to follow your instinct. Let's tap up over the crown of the head. Right on that byway point, right at the top. And then just kind of navigate your way maybe down the back of the skull, around the sides, and pay good close attention to your fingertips and the way that your skull is receiving this gentle impact. And come to your cheekbones. Maybe give a little circle. Make sure you include your eyebrows. Really soft facial muscles down through your cheeks. Find your jaw. Right back where the jaw meets the neck and around to the chin. Nice. And then down through the throat, opening up the palms. And you can come down over the chest. And it could be open palms or fingertips. Nice. Out across the chest. Good. And then opening up the right arm with the palm facing up. Take that left palm and pat as high as you can reach around the side of your neck, your shoulder. Try to really cover as much ground with that palm as you can. And then patting down forearm. Pat into your palm. Roll your palm over. Pat your way up the top, outer part of your arm. Cross the shoulder. We're patting in relaxation, patting out tension. Okay, so here we are up on the side of the left side of the neck, left shoulder. Palm turns up, patting our way down. Back around, patting down now, broad palms over the chest, into the ribs. Come down into your lower abdomen. Pat right on that lower dantian. Energy checking account right here. Patting around to the back, to the low back. Ming Men. Energy savings accounts. We're trying to build up and save some energy. Patting on the low back. The head tips forward if that feels comfortable for you. And then patting down through the hips, outside of the hips, all the way down outside of the legs as far as you're able to reach. come across the top of the feet if you're able, up the inseam of the legs, and ending up right back at the quad, right at the groin. A few more pats right here. And those knees slightly sink the tailbone. Let's pause and transition your hands right into the hip placement. Good. We're going to circle the hips. And as you do, you're rolling your weight through the feet. You can take your breath a little bit more deeply, maybe a little more mindfully. Remember, it's nothing like a nice deep inhale and a nice long exhale through an open mouth. Notice that in this practice, you're free to stay very mild with the movements, and you'll certainly have benefit to that. You're also free to explore larger expressions of any of these movements if it's inspiring to you or your body's just calling for it. And then pause and circle the other way. Nice. Keep those toes spread and your feet sinking down into the ground. Nice. And then let's just come back to neutral, to Wu Ji. Sink the feet, drop the tailbone, lift through the crown. Pull your skull back just slightly so you feel settled and aligned. And turn your head to the left and turn your head to the right. This is wise owl looks back. So I'd like you to do that a few times. Staying true to the breath, true to this postural alignment, the standing pose. A few more side to side. And it's at your discretion how far you turn over, but the rule of thumb is to come to a comfortable stop, whatever that is for you. Tongue remains gently on the roof of the mouth behind the front teeth. And then when you face forward, a chicken pecks the rice, you're lightly lifting up and then drawing the chin down. Maintain your Wu Ji posture. The only thing that's moving really is the head. And you're keeping the back of the neck somewhat long even as you tip the nose up. So we're not trying to crimp the back of the neck. Nice, a few more times like that. Excellent, and then come back to neutral. We're gonna rise and fall. So we're gonna draw with the wrist, almost like you're pulling a wet towel out of a bucket. And then bend a little bit more, float your wrists down. Your fingers just kind of follow where your wrist leads. The bend in the knees is a little bit deeper. We're gonna slow and follow the breath. So if you can stay in pace with me and it suits you, do so. Otherwise, move at your own rate of inhaling and exhaling. So yours might be a little faster or slower than mine. See if it feels good for you to inhale as you're drawing up, leading with the wrists. Exhale as you're floating down and sinking your hips a little bit lower. This is the first of the 6 Qi cultivation exercises. So this is the one that we're going to do today. Qi rising and Qi falling. Breath filling and emptying. So we'll stay with that a little bit longer. Notice if there comes that point where you don't have to be quite so concentrated on the movement, and you can kind of just let the mind move with the body at the same time instead of the mind leading the body. So you feel how those deep breaths are activating the relaxation response for you. So I'm going to start to connect heaven and earth. So next time you start to sink down, reach down as completely as you can, gather up from the earth, draw this nourishing Qi up through your body, out over your head, and just let it shower down over you as your hands come out to the sides. And we'll repeat. Gathering up, this might be a nice long inhalation if that suits you, and a nice long exhalation as that earth energy just kind of coats you. So it fills us as we're drawing the hands up, and then it just kind of coats us and surrounds us as we bring the hands softly out and down. Let's do twice more. Cherishing, gathering in from the earth, honoring that little piece of the planet where we each find ourselves this morning. So blessed to be sheltered from inclement weather. Food in the cupboard, love and support of others, enriching our lives. Pause with your hands overhead if you would. And now considering sky energy, heaven energy, circling to gather and washing that down, coming down through the top of the head, just kind of cleansing mind, heart, body, all the way down. Take your hands out and up. And we're gathering from above, washing, receiving it down through. If it makes sense, inhale as you reach up. Exhale as you receive and wash down. It's a chi shower. Several more times. It's a moving meditation. Sometimes it can be a moving body prayer. Once more. Gathering the yang energy from above. Coming down. Pausing with your hands out in front of your chest like you are holding a beach ball at a height that is not going to aggravate your shoulders. And there's a parting of the hands, maybe a fist distance or so. And feel that your wrists are really lifting. You have weights in your elbows and your fingers are just kind of draping off of your wrists. Check in with your Wuji stance, which starts with your feet evenly pressing toward the ground. Many of us have the tendency to be back in the heels, and you really want to balance that out. Make sure that your knees are dialing forward toward your toes. Relax and sink the tailbone. Notice if the front of your hips, your front hip creases, your quad relaxes open a little bit. Feel the lift through the top of your head toward the heavens as you pull your skull back even just minutely. In your scapula, your shoulder blades button down. And you feel this living structure within you. Janshuan, standing post, standing meditation. Nice. Do little intervals of those. And put your hands right down by your side. Just give a little shake or do something that loosens you up. Good. And we're going to come into spinal cord breathing. So the elbows will come to the height that suits us. Palms are open, facing forward. Send your tailbone back behind you, your ribs forward. Lightly lift your chin. Bring the breath in towards your body. You can squeeze your shoulder blades together a little if you want. On the exhale, that's the action. Make a fist. Round, bring your forearms together, look down. Bring your elbows towards your pelvis. Feel the back of your spine open. And we'll find that flow. You need to be very careful with your low back, so don't overdo this. Exhale, squeeze. Round any amount that feels good for you. And flow back and forth. And you just kind of feel a nice arching. You're opening the front body. And on the exhale, you're opening the back body. And we're just giving a little assistance to the lymph pumping system in the body by activating the low back and the upper spinal area. So moving breath, moving fluid, moving energy. Spread your fingers wide so you're really getting that stretch to the palms. One more time, opening up and closing down. Beautiful. And then coming back to neutral. Make sure you stay in your Wuji stance, or kind of shake a foot out, re-step if you need to. Let's come into side bending. So put that little soft bend in your knees. It keeps the legs active. And slide your left fingertips down towards your left foot. You'll be tilting your right ear somewhat up. You're just going to slide back and forth. So each one of us moving in a range of motion that starts mild and then potentially gets deeper if our body calls for that. And this is one of those moves where it's very likely that we're each going to go at it somewhat different pace. Lean over, somewhat different degree. And if you can think kind of from your waist down, there's a lot of stability. But from your waist up, the whole rest of your body is very soft, like a rag doll. Ragdoll upper body as you lean side to side, opening the side of the spinal joints. So we put our spine through a really beneficial full range of motion through this practice, as well as the practicality of having a standing meditation practice. So that means we can do it anywhere, wherever we are. In line somewhere. And sometimes even seated, you can bring in those qualities of Wuji. And instead of your feet being on the ground, it's your sitting bones on the ground. Good. So next time we come over to the left, you're going to either pause and stay, whatever bend is good for you, or circle your right arm up and sink your left fingertips down toward your foot. Turn your head down toward your left hand and give your left hand a little wiggle. With bent knees and a sunk tailbone, come out of the side bend. And we'll do one more on the other side. And lean down, stay, or add lifting of the left arm over. Sink those right fingertips. You can point your nose down if that's easeful for you. Give a little jiggle to your right shoulder, right arm. Nice. Draw in with your lower dantian, your lower abdomen, to help support you coming right back out. And we're going to put the hands on the thighs. Step our feet wider. So they call this a horse stance. And then turn your fingertips in a little bit. Sink down as deep as feels good for you. Send your left shoulder forward, draw your right shoulder back, and feel that you might be opening your low back as well as a nice little therapeutic twist. And then go the other way. Twisting left. Maybe keep your knees angled out over your toes so your knees don't torque in. And do that a few times with that intention of widening and opening the low back, rotating around. Nice deep breaths. Good. And then when you come back to the center, angle your toes forward, lift your hips up, and you can come any degree into a forward fold. So it can folding, you can support yourself leaning onto those thighs if you have concerns about your spine, or if you have your footing wide enough and you feel like it's possible for you to hinge at the hips and come all the way forward. I encourage you to do so. So whatever degree of a forward fold you have found, if you shift your weight right and left, can you let your spine just kind of flow? Nice and loose, like spine like a river. It's likely to feel a little bit like the side bending that we just did as far as the movement within the spine. Might be getting a nice little stretch on the inseam of your legs. That's very supportive for your liver. And then when your hips level out and your toes turn back out, you can walk your way back up, leaning into the hands, coming all the way up to a standing position. Bring your feet back in together and just give your whole body a little shake. Maybe kick to the opposite side. Good. Okay, so we're gonna make a shift into our Tai Chi flow. And prior to that, we're going to bring a little more further attention to our hands. So So you can give them a little rub on both sides. And then let's do a little mobility through the wrist. I'm going to come a little closer so you can see this. If you were to take your elbows lightly by your side and extend your palms forward, bring your palms in, and then roll your hands so your knuckles start to meet, elbows lift, fingertips point down, send the hands forward. Now roll your palms back up, and that's the starting position. So you're drawing in, you're rolling your knuckles kind of matched up to each other. Eventually your elbows rise, your fingertips point down, and you keep the backs of the hands together however you can. Come forward with the hands, turn your palms up. So we're just going to do that 1 or 2 times more, bringing it in. We're looking for mobility in the wrists, awareness, connection with the hands, with the wrists. Nice. And then we're going to just do the opposite. So we're going to turn the hands in, down, out, and forward. So if there's confusing in any way, just make up your own thing, rolling through the wrists. Nice deep breath. Excellent. And then let's just come back to a little rub and a clap with the hands. Reposition yourself for Wuji, and your feet should be at least hip distance apart. I tend to have mine a little bit wider. I've got strong legs that like to feel something, so I have a little wider stance. You're going to find your way, but you do want them at least as wide as your hip creases. And let's start with yin and yang, integrating heaven and earth. So let's reach out and up, coming down, pausing, reaching for the ground and gathering up. Pausing at the chest, reaching out and up, drawing down. Pausing in front of the torso, arms go out, reach the ground, draw up. Good, pause at the heart, come out, come up. So just a few times like that, just coming back into a little bit of spinal fluidity. One more time, gathering from the earth. Reaching toward the sky. And as the hands wash down, bring your palms over to your front left hip. So we're going to harmonize yin and yang. We've got the left palm on the top and the right palm on the bottom. Sinking the tailbone, nice and upright, skull drawn back slightly, so no tech neck, no forward reaching with the chin. And we're going to start to kind of stretch, and we'll notice before we move, I do want to point out that the hands do trade places clearly. And the palm facing up is usually considered to be the yang hand, and the one facing the earth would be the yin hand. So you'll notice that as we rotate across and turn, then there's this nice shifting, and the hands trade places. Right palm faces down, it's yin. Left palm faces up, it's yang. And as we turn, that lower hand rises. Come over and you reform the chi ball off your left hip, left hand down, right hand up. And I think you all have done this with me enough times to be able to flow without being overly instructed. I find it helpful to kind of start the movement within the Wuji stance, where I'm kind of just rotating my kwa slightly to the side. I'm making sure that I stay stacked. So if my arms were too far away from my body, I would be leaning. And in this instance, that's not what we're looking for. So we're harmonizing, kind of stretching and morphing and reforming our yin and yang, the relationship with the hands. And if you are relaxed enough in it, I'd like you to turn your attention, at least for a moment, to your palms and notice what you feel. The activation maybe of some sensation in the palms. I often feel it like just a warm glow, maybe like I was just holding a warm potato, not a hot potato, but a warm potato that fits perfectly in my palms. And then as we continue with the pattern and let it become truly meditative, you might find that you want to weight shift. So when your hands move to the left, a little more weight in the left foot. When you rotate and your hands move right, you weight into the right foot a little bit more. So weight shifting, if it's meditative for you. And it's possible the weight shifting would lead to actually lifting the opposite heel. So whatever foot's bearing the weight, the other heel lifts slightly. Settle the heel back down as you transit across. Yes. And allow your head to move in a way that feels like it's really part of your body. So instead of having to look forward at a screen, maybe you can look out into your surroundings at eye level. Just beholding. Opportunity to really see what is in your environment. If you're home, these are things that you've chosen to place in your dwelling. Just smile at your home. Harmonizing yin and yang. Harmonizing mind, body, and heart. Take another pass or two. Allow yourself to kind of feel the artistry of this. That sense of being unfettered, just free within the flow. Notice any way that you're able to glide through these movements. There's a smoothness to them. When your hands return over to the left hip, reverse their position 180 degrees. Just turn the ball a half a rotation. Right palm faces down, yin. Left palm faces up, yang. Brush knee, send chi. As we rotate, that top hand comes down on a gentle diagonal toward the right knee. Fades down as the left hand comes across, sending chi out to your right. Watch that left hand fade down as you come across and rotate. It's the left hand brushing knee, right hand sending chi. Yes, and then find that flow for yourself. Can you feel that blend of being effortless and awake? Noticing all senses are on. Your vision, your hearing, your sense of touch, maybe smell, even taste. Notice if the hands could be encouraged to be even softer, more supple and absorbent. So as you truly are like gathering chi into every pore of your skin. Feel the gift of nice free respiration, drawing in and out through the nose. And that subtle, or maybe even not so subtle, weight shifting. Let's take another pass or two. Brushing knee and sending chi. And meeting up, facing forward in a cross over the middle dantian, which is the heart center. Rest your hands just comfortably. There's weights in your elbows, a little weight down in your tailbone, and a lift through your crown. So it's wuji with a cross. Take a moment just to own your chi. Cherish it. Share it wisely. Cutting through to clarity. The hands part, the elbows stay weighted outside of your ribs. As you draw left elbow back, you can draw the left fingertips in if you want, like you're curling the string on a bow, and send your right hand forward. And you can look forward or look to the side. Do what feels best for your spine. And you're gonna come back, like you're running down in two separate train tracks. Nice. So you're cutting through to clarity, inviting that quality of clarity. Help you set your priorities. Have a long view perspective maybe on some things that just feel so urgent, but maybe a longer view would be helpful. Staying nice and centered, but mobile in your upper spine. A few more rounds, cutting through to clarity. Mindful of your knees, keep facing them forward. Nice. Come back to the cross, over the heart, take a nice deep breath. And then cloud hands. We'll start over in front of the left hip. We're going to take the right palm, face it toward the chest, maybe head height or whatever's going to be good for your shoulder. Left palm faces down for now. As we prepare to rotate toward the right, like that upper hand can feel like a cloud, a high cloud. The lower hand can be a lower cloud. So they pass through the sky, and then feel gracefully the hands change place. Right palm gently facing to the ground, it's yin, and the top hand a little more yang. Nice. And initially, make sure that you are keeping quite, fairly stationary from the waist down, moving the upper body until the body remembers the movement, or it feels like it's reawakened, imprinted, and then you can just start to do your weight shifting if you would like. Giving equal attention to the passing in front of you with the hands and the changing, the transitioning of one hand to the other. Feel the fingertips as relaxed as possible. There's a gentle space between the fingers. And the breath is very much part of the movement. Just coordinated, synchronized. And then we're going to stay with cloud hands for a bit. And know that you can get creative. For example, that top cloud hand could come all the way overhead if that was going to feel good for you. You can turn your palms to face any direction. Just stay with your pacing that matches your breath and your needs of the morning. Feel that every in-breath is robust and complete. Really filling the vessel of the lungs with this chi breath. And then there's clinging to nothing as you exhale. You're really giving every bit of the breath back. Stay soft enough in your movements that you always can discern where is the comfortable stop in your range of motion. How loose, how fluid, how engaged can you be while attaching and judging none of it? Nice. Let's take another pass or two of these cloud hands. So we conclude, we'll Come back to the protection cross, staying with your own pacing. Just pause, breathe. Gentle meditative awareness. We'll come back to the integrating yin and yang. So reach the arms out and up. Draw down, pausing in front of the torso. On your next inhale, arms go out, reach down and draw up. So we're balancing yin and yang even further. Outwardly expressing the balance that we're feeling inwardly. One more time to reach up. And one more time to reach down. And this time we're going to trace the channels. Try to trace and seal. You're going to take the arms up. Start at the top of your head with broad, loving, chi-filled palms. Start at the top of your head and slide your hands down. You're just trying to cover as many cubic inches, surface inches of the body as possible. So you're coming around, you're sealing up, kind of like any remaining leaks or holes in your energy system down over the chest, around your ribs. As far up the back as your hands can reach, sliding down over the low back, outer hips, sealing in, tracing the channels together, over the top of the feet, up the inseam of the legs, ending with the hands over the lower abdomen in a diamond shape where the thumbs touch and the rest of the fingers descend, and you create a triangle as you set your feet in more narrowly, either together or slightly. Bend at the knees. Now slide your hands a little closer so your thumbs cross and you seal so that you're sealing the cauldron. Hands are now stacked. Let's take a breath with that notion of a seal. And then bamboo in the wind. Allow your body to drift around. Just moving forward and back, left and right. Feel how your physicality knows how to come back to center. Trust that your mind and your heart know how to come back to center also. Just prizing that quality of balance and return. Relax your efforts from that. And then please find a seat or a way to lay down. You're going to feel the chi. Let go of all the effort and just find some stillness. If you're seated, you're in a seated wuji. If you're reclining, you're in a reclining wuji. Feel the placement of all of your body parts. And start with your feet. Relax your feet, whether they're settling onto the ground or your feet are facing forward if you're reclining. Feel the feet softly resting on the earth. And gently, with the mind's eye of the body being the beloved temple, guide your awareness from your feet up inch by inch through your body, acknowledging, connecting, appreciating, relaxing each part as you go. Up through the lower legs, through the knee joint, up through the upper legs. Feel the hips connected to the ground. That relaxed, expansive length to your spine. If you're reclining, the way that the spine drapes toward the ground. If you're seated, feel the gentle, natural curves of the spine. A little Little arch in your low back, length of your spine, up through the crown of your head. So relaxing your shoulders, feeling a width across the chest and the heart space. Arms are at ease and your palms are resting in a way that you've intentionally chosen them to be. Maybe they're yang, facing up, or maybe they're yin, facing down. And the head and neck relaxing. Noticing a sense of being cleansed and kind of refurbished, if you will. Allow yourself to be held by gravity, by the loving presence of Mother Earth herself. Without trying, just let that settling quality of the stillness refresh you. Relaxed, settled, healed, connected, healthy, strong, resilient, flexible, adaptable, intelligent, heart-centered, at ease, at home in your body. As you stay at rest, I'm just going to read you something gently. It's an early Buddhist teaching prayer, Sutta Nipata. It's a discourse on goodwill. May all beings be filled with joy and peace. May all beings everywhere, the strong and the weak, the great and the small, the mean and the powerful, the short and the long, the subtle and the gross, may all beings everywhere, seen and unseen, dwelling far off or nearby, being or waiting to become, may all be filled with lasting joy. Just as a mother with her own life protects her child, her only child, from harm, so within yourself let grow a boundless love for all creatures. Let your love flow outward through the universe to its height, its depth, its broad extent. A limitless love without hatred or enmity. Then, as you walk or stand, sit or lie down, as long as you are awake, strive for this with one pointed mind, and your life will bring heaven to earth. May all beings be filled with joy and peace, including ourselves. You can take a nice deep breath in and out. And just mark this moment in any way that you feel connected, or any element of the way you feel right now that you want to carry forward into your day, and let that be part of how you walk your path. So if you're reclining and you choose to stay reclining longer, you're certainly welcome. If you feel like you are ready to shift back upright, or to just float your eyes open, I encourage you to do that. Good. And we'll finish. Bring our hands into that Tai Chi mudra. So you're going to make a fist with your right hand and just remind yourself that you are equipped, you are strong for the task, whatever it is, moment by moment today. And that with the yin hand, you wrap around. And in every moment, may we have a combination of both. And I've just crisscrossed my thumbs. And when I look down, to me, it looks like a Tai Chi symbol, a little yin-yang symbol. And so you can draw that in nice and close into your power center, into your lower dantian, and give a little bow forward. May we each walk in gentleness and strength today in its appropriate ratios, moment by moment. And may we be well and spread that wellness wherever we go. So you bring your hands in prayer to the heart. Namaste. I send you all wishes for peace, health, and happiness now and always.